Now we move that line that we just copied up to the top, and we're going to go ahead and it's already overlay, so we'll leave that as an overlay. Just leave it there for now. We'll come back to fix that a little bit more in a minute. Now we're going to make another highlight in a different color. Let's see. We're going to actually make a few different highlights for the top here. We're going to start with pink. Alright, so make our brushes a little bigger. Not that big. A little bigger than that. Okay, there we go. Make a new layer and put that there. And we can just, we don't have to go into filter, we just have to hit Control F as in Frank for the shortcut to blur. That's not actually the shortcut to blur, that's the shortcut for the last used filter. So whatever your last used filter was, if you use Control F, you can use that filter without having to go back in and go through all the steps to select it again. So there's our first color for the top. Go ahead and Control T to select it, and we're going to make this a little thin, a little smaller, and then kind of shove it up there, about there. Hit Enter, and now make 4 more copies of that one that we just did. You can select your Move tool here, then hold your Alt button down, and then with your mouse drag another, and another, and another, and another while holding the Control or the Alt button down. Now put these into position. Actually, we're just going to select all of them by clicking on the first one and then going down and then shift clicking the last, and that will select all of them. And now the top toolbar here, we can align these perfectly. So which one is it? I think it's this one. Will I look right? Well, I guess it is. Let's see. Yeah, I think that's the right one. Yeah, it looks right. Okay. So then we're going to go ahead and put them about. I guess that looks good right there. Are they aligned? I can't tell. Okay. And then we're going to see. We're going to. I'm going to try and. There we go. I wanted to make them the equal distance from each other, and I did that by clicking on this middle section or middle selection right here up on the top called Distribute Horizontal Centers. And so now they're all equal and lined up. Now we're going to select the first one, and actually the last one, but we don't need to change it. We'll leave it pink. Now we'll select the next one, double click on that layer, and go to Color Overlay. And we're going to pick like mint green for this one. A little bit greener than that. We want it to stand out a little bit more because it's going to be a very small amount of the actual circle that's going to be showing now. So that looks good. Okay, hit OK. Go to the next one down, double click. When you double click, just to show you this, make sure that you double click on an empty space over on that layer. If you double click where the name is, it will highlight the name so that you can change it. If you double click on the picture, it will also open this up, but you want to get used to double clicking on a blank spot, because a lot of times when you right click on the picture, it is a different set of options as if when you click on just the blank section, and you want to get used to doing it only on the blank section so that you don't get confused. Anyway, back to what we're doing. Double click, open up your effects box, select color overlay, and we'll go with yellow on this one. A little bit lighter. There we go. Okay, and this one I'm going to go blue, color overlay. There we go. And the last one I'm going to make, actually I'm going to leave that last one pink. Okay. So I'm going to select them again, holding down shift, selecting them all. I'm going to slide those up a little bit more with my arrow keys on my keyboard. Not that much. Right about there, I guess. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, so now that's done. So now we are going to go ahead and bring in the, maybe we should add a little bit more texture or more effects to this before we do that. We're going to go down to the floor layer, and I'm going to double click on it, and I'm going to add a inner shadow to kind of give the floor a little bit of a shadow, like a natural, actual real life floor would have. So go ahead, and what color is this? Doesn't look like it's that. Well, I'm going to change this to a dark blue, almost black. Actually, I'm going to change it to a dark aqua, almost black, just so that it blends better with the rest. Let's see, what do we want to do here? We could try white. Maybe white would work better. No, I don't like white. Huh. Well then, let's see. Black? No. Okay, we're not going to do this because it's just not working out the way I want it to. So I'm just going to go ahead and cancel that. I'm going to add a drop shadow. No, I'm not. I'm not going to add a drop shadow either. Let's try this again. Double click on the floor layer. Let's try inner glow instead of inner shadow. Change that to black. Change, oh, hit OK. Then change the blend mode for now to normal. And bring the opacity up to 100. And bring the size up. About here. Let's see how that looks. Let's see if we can move that. Nope, it's not going to move. Okay, so I'm gonna bring that choke to 0. I'm gonna bring the size to, don't know what I want to do here. Put it in the center and try that. Let's see, change. Okay, we're going to change the color to match the wall, and you could do that by simply clicking where the color is here, then clicking the color you want to use on your image. Hit OK. And let's change the blend mode to soft light, see how that works. Okay. No. Let's change the contour and see if we can make it look a little better. Okay, that's not too bad. Oh, I think I like that too. Okay, we'll lower the opacity a bit. Okay, I guess that's good for now. Yeah, that'll work. Okay, good. So now we're going to go ahead and get our avatars. I've already sized them the way I want them on the image. So you want to go ahead and size yours and then bring them over. I have made one image, a very close-up image, and I've made it transparent. It's 57% transparency. You can put whatever transparency you think looks good. And then I put her behind, kind of behind her, to the right of her a bit. You want to leave room enough for your text over here. You don't want too much going on the picture so that you have to like squeeze your text in. That's a bad thing to do. So we'll leave her right about there, and we're going to do the shadows. There's a couple different ways that we can do the shadows. I'm going to go ahead and show you all of them just so that you can have a tutorial on how to do them. So we're not going to do a shadow on the transparent avatar, just on the solid one. So we're going to go ahead and make a copy of that layer. You can use the shortcut Control J on your keyboard to make a copy of that layer if you have it selected. Control J. And now there's an exact copy of it. I forgot to turn this off. Ignore what I'm doing. This won't be like it will be on yours. Okay, so now we can select this image by holding down Control on our keyboard and clicking on the picture on the layers panel. So, and it'll put the little marching ants around your image. Make sure that you have your layer behind this layer so that when you make the shadow, you don't make the top black. So now we're going to go ahead and default our colors here to black over white with the letter D. And now going to hold Alt and delete. And then Control D will unselect the image. And now we've got her back here. Nice dark shadow. Go Edit, Transform, Flip Vertical. Okay, and there she is. So now this is the fun part. You just basically put the image where you think it fits. On this one, I would like to put the shadow going in front of her to the right, because there's that empty floor there that would be a really good place for the shadow. Doesn't have to be the whole part, it doesn't have to cover the whole area. Just make it look believable, which isn't always easy, I know. So we're gonna see what we can do here. I have 20 years experience and I still struggle with shadows, so. Alright, let's put this. Holding your control button down allows you to move the angle and perspective of your image that you're working on. So here we go, this worked better here. You always want to make sure that when you're done, moving it and using the perspective on it and whatever you're doing, that you end up with the feet touching. Unless one of the feet are up in the air, then you want to put the shadow equally below that foot to make it actually really appear that that foot is slightly up in the air. I don't know if she's necessarily got her leg up or if it's just back, so we'll just kind of leave it touching just below the foot, I think would be good. Holding my control button down again, moving it about there. Grab this corner, bring it down. Okay, now it's a little bit thin, so I'm gonna make it a little fatter here. That didn't work, and did all. Alright, here we go. I guess this will work. Okay, yeah, just stretch it out a bit, that might work. Alright. There we go. Bring this up. Control. Come on, cooperate. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and use my warp tool. There we go. Alright, this will make it work a lot easier. You don't have to hold your control button down when using the warp tool because it just doesn't need it. Just kind of move it around like this. You can really get detailed with your shadows with the warp tool. And then you simply just right click on the image when you have it selected with Control T to bring up the warp tool. You'll see it when you right click on it. Okay, let me hit enter and see how this looks. Okay, well, that's not so bad. We'll go ahead and use that. I'm just going to drop the opacity on it quite a bit. Actually, let's go ahead and make it overlay. That might work better. Go to the blend mode, overlay. Let's try soft light. Okay, soft light looks like it might work. Okay. Alright, next I'm going to go ahead and make some oval shadows using the elliptical marquee tool. I'm going to make a little oval circle right there. Make a new layer underneath the avatar layer. And now go ahead and make sure you have black by hitting your letter D on your keyboard. And then hit Alt and delete, and it'll fill it with black. Then use Control Delete, or Control D as in David, to deselect. Okay, go ahead and select your move tool, and we're going to bring that down here, and we're going to Control T to select it and reshape and size it better. You want it to fit the way the bottom of her foot looks, so right there, we'll leave it for now until I blur it. Right about here. I'm using my arrow keys. Oops. Okay. Now we've already got the Gaussian filter up here, so we're just going to Control F. Okay, see, that's too much. So Control Alt Z is in zebra to go back or undo, and we're going to go up to the filter, go to blur, Gaussian blur, and lower this down a lot. Okay, that looks like it might work actually. Alright. Alright. Bring it down a bit. Control T again to make it fit a little bit better, more believable. You use the arrow keys to move it. Alright, that looks good. There we go. Alright, let's make another copy. We're going to make a copy of it to put another one on the other foot. There we go. I used Alt and my arrow key to make that copy. Or you could use Control J, either way, whatever works good for you. I'm not going to put this all the way up under that foot because I think that foot is supposed to appear to be slightly off the ground. So we're going to lower the opacity on that one. About, I'll say 70, 71, whatever. And there are those shadows. Now I'm going to double click on this avatar layer here. Go to drop shadow and turn it on because I already had it up. Okay. Okay, let's see. The drop shadow, when you use a drop shadow, you're not trying to make this drop shadow show. You are trying to give it the illusion that the avatar has some depth. You don't want to use bevel or emboss on avatars. It gives them a very plastic look. So you want to use your drop shadow simply to give your avatar depth. And if you can see here, that's what I've done. If you move the size of it back down to 0, I'll show you how it normally looks when people do this, and it's not right. You don't want your shadow to look like this. You don't want it to be like that. It just doesn't look good. What you want to do is you want to bring the size up, and you want to bring the opacity down to about 30. It looks like it might work there. I've got the blend mode set to linear burn on this one. I'll bring the distance down slightly. Okay. It's still a little bit too much. Let's see. Bring the angle up this way. Okay, there. That might work. Okay, good. There we go. I'm happy. Oh, and we're going to turn this outer glow off. We do not want outer glow on this ever. Alright, hitting OK. And there we go. Okay, shadow is done. So next we are going to make the little squares here for the product. Go up here to the marquee tool, click and hold. Select your rectangular marquee tool. Make your first rectangle about, like this. About there, I guess. Okay. Make a new layer on top of everything. And select your color palette. Get a color that you would like to use. I'm going to use pink first on this. There we go. Hit OK. Now go to select your gradient tool and then click on the color palette on top toolbar. And make sure that you have the color you picked over transparent. Will always probably be the second selection. It will always be the second selection. And then hit OK. And now you want the transparency to be away from the wall. So let's see what direction it's going to go in. Oh, I did it right. Amazing. The first time. Okay. I want the transparency to show, so I'm going to undo here with Control Alt Z and make it not go quite so far out to the end. That's not far enough. Right about a little bit more. Let's see. Control D is David to deselect. I'm not happy with that. I'm going to Control Alt Z to do this again. I am a perfectionist, can't help it. Okay, Control D. One more time and then I'll leave it. Okay, there. That's good. Oh, no wonder it wasn't working. Wow. When you do this, make sure that you have the right things selected or you're going to do exactly what I just did. So you want this first one to be selected, which is called linear. That will make it a straight line and it's a lot easier. There we go. That's what I was looking for. Okay, so we have one done. Now we're going to go ahead and select our move tool up here. Hold down your Alt and make 2 new copies of this rectangle. Okay. Go down here. Oh, that one's wrong. Let's just save time here and select the 3 layers. Go to the top toolbar and there. Now they are lined up. Now we want them to be equal distances from each other. With, I guess that would be vertical we would use. Yeah, there we go. Now they're all equal and pretty. Alright, now we're going to select the second one here. Double click. Going to go to color overlay. Going to make this one a light yellow. I want it to be pastel, so okay, there's good pastel. Alright, perfect. Hit OK, OK. Now we'll go to the next one. This one's going to be the blue or aqua. Color overlay. Oops, didn't mean to hit that. Right about right there, I'm guessing. Okay, that works. Okay, now we've got our little boxes. Let's go ahead and move the 3 of them down a bit. It's up to you whether you want them to go onto the floor or not. I think that it would be better if they were actually up here like this. And you could leave the floor for your image, your text, your name, a small name down here. You have room up here for your text for your developer's name and the product name. Actually, if it's a bundle, then you want to, well, no, you actually don't need to worry about the product name because you're going to put the product icons on top of these little rectangles and the name will be next to them. But you can put the developer's name up on top and type in, like, I don't know, presenting, teeny weeny nanas, and then you put the icons in and it's perfect. I will do another tutorial for the text later. I'm going to bed. Thanks for watching.